I'm gonna give you the best bodybuilding accessories ranked, and we're gonna start right now. One of the big things that we've got to understand is that the accessory lifts that we're going to be focusing on are not our main lifts. Our main lifts are still going to be back squat, front squat, single leg squat, deadlift, bench press, pull-ups, anything along those lines, even dips, I would argue. Now, when we get into these specific accessories, we're going to look through in muscle groups based off of how much growth can you get out of these accessories, okay? And do they provide some type of support for those main lifts? So we're gonna start off with those back muscles. So the first exercise that we're gonna start off with is gonna be ranked number 7, and it's going to be a T-bar row. Now, I like using the T-bar row here and trying to get nice and long, and then squeeze. Long, and then squeeze. Here. Remember, parts of this is that, does this establish a large amount of growth? Absolutely. You can go really heavy on it. You can also go lighter and just get tons and tons of reps. I believe this does help a bench press. It really helps your deadlift, and it's just going to strengthen that upper back, especially if you start to lengthen quite a bit. It's going to get you serious freaking growth. I put it at number 7. It's probably my all-time favorite back accessory, but on the accessory ranking list, it's number 7. Number 8, ironically, is going to be another back accessory. This is going to be a reverse grip seated row. Okay, and I've talked about this a long time ago. There was this local pro wrestler named Buck Wild, and he used to lift with me when I was like 14, 15 years old, and he was absolutely huge. His traps were massive. And one thing that he taught me, because there was points where he would be spotting me on a bench press, and I would sort of round forward here, okay? And he brought up, he's like, we need to hit some big time reverse grip seated row to help your traps build up, help your rhomboids, your rear delts, so that as we're pressing, we can keep that retraction. The reason why I don't rank this as high as a T-bar row is that you can't go as heavy, but I'm gonna demonstrate here for you what it looks like. Instead of having a traditional seated row where we would grab with the thumbs up, okay, so think about if I'm here, even with the traditional handle, I would actually grab with the pinkies up. Okay, so I grab here with that pinkies up, get set, and then I wanna flare my elbows out. So I'm gonna go here, and I'm already lengthening quite a bit, and then up. Come forward, up, forward, up, and try and keep those elbows up and out. One more. So this is a really, really freaking good movement for specifically that upper back. It's a great movement to build that bench press around. It doesn't get you as heavy as doing the T-bar row. That's why I have this ranked number 8. All right, so we're gonna hit shoulders now. The 5th ranked exercise is one of my all-time favorite accessories, and this is a tribute to John Meadows, who helped us start this YouTube channel, an absolute legend. And Meadow swings coming in at that number 5 spot. Now, I love this for crazy drop sets. I love this for developing the rear delts and for just slaughtering kids to learn how to retract their upper back, okay? So we're gonna get here, and I want like sets of 30. One thing that I love about accessories like this is that if you have a younger kid, oftentimes young kids struggle with dealing with discomfort. So when you have them do sets of 20 to 30, in the realm of sports performance, they start to learn how to enjoy being uncomfortable, okay? So we can get here, and then over time, they start to lengthen their arms, and the swinging portion gets a little bit lower, and what ends up happening is you start to lengthen your rhomboid, and they get a nice pump there as well. Okay, so we can do like sets of 20 to 30 reps, and do that lighter. Like I've got 32.5-pound dumbbells there. That's plenty. Now, number 9 would be drag curls into shrugs. Okay, so this is gonna be an interesting dumbbell pairing where I've always gotten an ungodly, crazy pump from drag curls. What I wanna see is try to get 17 drag curls, and then after those 17 drag curls, you're going to do just traditional old man boomer shrugs, okay? I call these boomer shrugs because my dad still does this exact same lift all of the time. I feel like he might have just walked in or something. So I'll go drag curl here. Okay, so let's say I do 17 reps there. Now I'm doing the boomer shrugs just here until you're absolutely slaughtered through the traps and through those shoulders. And that's a great accessory that you can use with wrestlers, football players, anybody who's gonna be in some type of combat sport, and anybody who lacks that strength in their traps, and even a little bit through the biceps. So number 5, Meadow swings. Number 9, drag curls into shrugs. Okay, so we are gonna give you the number 4 ranked accessory movement for bodybuilding, and this is gonna be an upper body movement. This is going to be a chest movement. Okay, so we're focusing on the chest here. And of course, it has to be some type of bench press. It's always gotta be some type of bench press. Now, one progression that we use with our athletes here, with our younger athletes, is that if we have a younger kid coming in the door and they're really struggling to learn how to dumbbell bench, we actually like to play around with some bands so that they have to focus on having more tension. And one other aspect is that when we have throwers who have huge bench presses, up over 500 pounds, we've also seen that if we throw a band on and they're using like 120s or 150s for dumbbell bench, we see it blow up their bench. So this is the number 4 ranked bench press. Okay, this is gonna be a banded bench press. And we'll come over here. I'll put our power elastic around the back, again, available at garagestrength.com. This is perfect because you've got the handles. You can sit here, and what ends up happening is you come back, and you press and you get a huge tricep pump, but you also get more tension through the pecs, okay? More tension through the chest right here, boom. So you come down, boom. And I like to have a little pause at the top, and then you can hold and squeeze that tension down at the bottom. And this is a movement that you'll see inside of our strength training app, Peak Strength. We have over 800 different exercises. A lot of these key accessories for bodybuilding are inside of our Peak Strength training app. It's a sports performance program where you can go in and you can select your specific sport for your specific needs. Now, the next accessory is the number 2 ranked accessory, and it's gonna be on the incline bench. And it involves a little bit of a stretch shortening cycle. Okay, so we're gonna get set here. And what I wanna see is the old tried and true double bounce. A lot of you who've been watching us for a while, you know that we like to use double bounce front squats, double bounce back squats, and in this case, a double bounce incline bench. The reason why I like this slightly more than the flat bench is I believe you will get more pec activation. And when we're thinking about this for bodybuilding, bigger chest, is just gonna help you feel better about yourself, and you won't be a pathetic 40-year-old like myself. So if we get set here, double bounce, up. Double bounce, up, double bounce, boom, boom, boom. So one of the other aspects there is that when you have younger athletes, they struggle with coming out of the bottom on dumbbells. They want you to help get the dumbbells off their chest. Make them do that double bounce, and now all of a sudden they learn how to use that stretch shortening cycle to exhibit more force through that entire plane of motion, and that's gonna lead to greater strength, greater recruitment, and ultimately a bigger bench press. Okay, so now we're heading into the accessories that are gonna be bis and tris. So of course we're gonna have a high ranking number 3, and it's not even the Miracle Grow, which you guys probably should educate yourselves on what the Miracle Grow exercise is. But instead, I wanna show you an exercise that when we're in an overhead position, one, I believe it leads to greater overhead stability through your shoulders, but we're gonna do this in a kneeling point, which is gonna target your trunk a little bit, and in turn lead to a really, really good pump and lockout. So we're gonna do a kneeling tricep extension. So we're gonna get here, I'm gonna get down here, and I'm gonna hold this position, and oftentimes I'll even like to put my knuckles together here and rotate out, okay? So we're in a position like this, and I wanna get at least 17 reps and focus on here, leading to a massive amount of growth. Now, remember all the way back to the beginning, the way that we're judging these movements. Does it lead to growth? Absolutely, your triceps will get absolutely freaking slaughtered and huge. Second thing, if there's any issues that you might have or any problem areas in a big time lift, remember those main lifts, bench press, deadlift, clean, snatch, back squat, front squat. This is gonna help bench press. It's even gonna help somebody who's snatching, okay? It's gonna help with the lockout. Even somebody who's doing a behind the neck jerk. Let's say Eric Favors, who just went to the Olympics, behind the neck jerk, 245 kilos. This helped him be stable in that overhead position. So although it's a bodybuilding accessory, it transfers phenomenally to high speed movements in the realm of sports performance. So this comes in at number 3. Now the next movement is absolutely insane for your biceps. It's got a little lower ranking, but you still have to try it today. Okay, coming in at number 6. If you're a true hardcore GS fan, you would have bought Bison Tries 1 and 2 way back in the day, and you would see this exercise. This is called homers, okay? So this is a movement that we termed, because we have a long-term client since 2009, and he's just always wanted to get destroyed when he comes in and trains. So we created this accessory back in the day where he would walk, okay, about 20 meters, okay? So he holds this position, and it's almost one of those things, if you've ever had a child, you know that when you hold your baby for a long period of time, and if they've fallen asleep, like you're like, I can't move my arms. I want to make sure that I hold this as still as possible. And you realize you get a huge pump through your biceps. You do 12 curls, and I'm going to walk backwards because the camera's in front of me. Typically, I would walk forward, okay? And I come back to here, and when I get back, I'm getting a huge pump. I do another set of 12 curls. So it's walk, curl, walk, curl. Now, in the realm of sports performance, this also has great carryover. If you're an offensive lineman and you like to hold people, if you're a wrestler and you're grabbing somebody, if you're even like a field hockey player and you're using a stick, okay? So you can use these homers. This comes in at number 6 on the all-time ranking list. And now we're gonna get to our legs, okay? So we're gonna have 2 accessories that we're gonna provide for you that are gonna target your legs and absolutely slaughter you, and you've gotta try both of these today. Okay, so these last 2 exercises, these are the number 1 ranked movements. And again, both of these accessories are gonna be inside of our strength training app, Peak Strength. So head over to peakstrength.app, the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store, download Peak Strength and start your journey to become a freak. Now, this movement is absolutely horrible. It will cause a massive amount of discomfort. And I recommend, if your front squat sucks, do this today. If you've got small quads like myself, do this today. And we're gonna pair this with another movement. So that's why I have both of these ranked as the number 1 if they're done together. Okay, so every other accessory, you don't have to do them all together, but this one, I recommend doing this today at the gym together. Okay, so we're gonna get our heels elevated here. Okay, so we're gonna get crazy, crazy stretch on the quads. We're gonna have a super upright posture here. Okay, and I'm gonna go down. Come back up, okay? Let's go 2 more. 1 more. Now, if I have athletes doing that, I'd probably have them do around like 7 to 10 reps, something like that. And what happens is, okay, we're gonna hit that, we're gonna rest for about 30 seconds, and we're gonna walk over to my favorite freaking machine to get a dummy quad pump. So, we're almost doing like reverse fatigue here. So I want to get a little bit of a lean back here. I'm gonna pull my pants up. I want to get a little bit of a lean back here on the leg extension to lengthen this even more. Don't sit upright. I want a little bit more hip extension. That's gonna lengthen the quad further. You get a little bit more range of motion. You target with big time weight over there. Here, squeeze at the top, lean back, lean back, back. And then this is one of those that you can just, as a drop set, you just keep hammering until you cannot move anymore. And then for 3 days, your quads are sore. Because remember, freaks, if you want to become a champion, you've always got to cultivate your power. Peace.